Who gets the dog in the divorce? I'm Tulsa attorney James Wirth, and that is the question that we have. If you're going through a divorce, we've got assets that need to be divided. You've got the dog that needs to be determined. Where does that dog go? That is the question. Okay, so first off, in Oklahoma, dogs are treated just like property. Although the laws have been changed recently that allows you to request possession of a dog as pursuant to a protective order, which is kind of new, that sets a dog aside from other assets. For the most part, if we're talking about property, debt division in a divorce, the dog is treated as property, which means that the court gets to decide who that property, that dog, goes to based on what the court thinks is equitable or fair. So how do we determine what's equitable and fair? Well, the first thing we have to look at is it marital property? So if the dog was owned by one of the parties prior to the marriage, then that party can argue that's separate property. If it's separate property, it goes to that party and is not divided by the court. But if the court finds that it is joint property, marital property, then it is subject to division by the court, where the court has to decide what is fair. And at that point, the court's going to look at all of the other assets and debts to determine how they're being divided to see what makes sense. Going to look at the relationship of the dog to both of the parties, how that parties have treated that dog, and make that determination what the court believes is fair. So if the question is, who gets the dog in the divorce? It's going to depend on the facts, but you're going to want to note that it's going to be treated like another asset, that if it's separate property, it's going to go to the party who owned that separate property. If it's marital property, it's going to go based on what the judge thinks is fair. So if you're dealing with this circumstance, you're probably going to want more than this video. You're going to want to talk to a lawyer privately, confidentially, get legal advice. To schedule that with a family law attorney at my office, you can go online to makelawEasy.com.